This is a video by Alicia Martel looking into the practice of post-occupancy evaluations and their integration within the New Zealand built environment. As architecture students, we are much more exposed to the front-end design phase of projects, as opposed to the real-life application of our knowledge. It is easy to assume that what we design will in practice function as intended and meet the goals that were set out in the preliminary design phase. Unfortunately, this is not always the case, and in many circumstances, there is a performance gap between the proposed design and the delivered product, particularly with regard to the fulfillment of sustainability and building performance goals. Dealing with the issues surrounding performance gaps has led practitioners to employ a more holistic approach to the design process, namely analysis of buildings after occupations has commenced. One such process is a post-occupancy evaluation, or POE. The Royal Institute of British Architects is pushing for UK government ministries to mandate the use of POEs on all central government-funded projects, in the hope this will assess value for money and identify areas for improvement. This video will introduce the practice of post-occupancy evaluations as a process through which this performance gap can be addressed. In response to the actions from REBA, the video will also consider whether New Zealand government departments should follow the same lead as proposed by REBA. Furthermore, the video will discuss what implications this might have for architects in the New Zealand setting and graduates entering the industry. The value of POEs can be viewed from both short and long-term perspectives. Still, the main reason for POE implementation is the long-run benefits brought to the value chain. After all, this is the area where savings are greatest. The goal of the procedure is to facilitate knowledge transfer from the end users to the stakeholders involved in earlier project stages. After the building has been used for a period of time, performance data can be collected, analysed, and compared with expected design benchmarks. This data provides designers with information regarding the in-use performance of their designs, enabling better predictions for future projects. POEs are flexible, and they are defined by the objectives being pursued in the design and the areas of interest to the stakeholder. A variety of methods can be employed to collect, analyse, and compare both quantitative and qualitative data on the functioning of a building with regards to its compliance to prescribed operational requirements and occupant needs. Traditionally, post-occupancy evaluations have been underused, presumably because clients, who normally only tend to build one building, see little direct value from it. Thus, the main issue with POE assessments is that individuals or organisations providing the metrics do not necessarily benefit from its results, unless they highlight immediate problems that can be addressed and solved. Alongside the feeling of inconvenience that POEs may have on clients, there may also be negative implications towards consultants or contractors. Consultants involved in establishing the environmental specifications may be legally liable for a mismatch between specification and the delivered quality. As a precedent for the use of post-occupancy evaluations in New Zealand, one should consider previous experience both locally and abroad, particularly in large-scale government projects. The Royal Institute of British Architects have long been supporting the use of POEs in UK commercial builds to strive for quality control. The introduction of POEs in New Zealand would be beneficial for our built environment, creating value for society and better work environments for occupants. Using post-occupancy evaluations on government projects could not only be beneficial for clients and consultants, but also the public, who have a shared interest in optimizing public spending. There is support for using POEs on publicly procured projects, as it is believed the public sector should be obliged to share information because it's taxpayers' money. Using POEs in government projects could facilitate transparency towards cost and build quality, establishing faith in the public towards government leadership and spending. The use of POEs over a large scope of projects can facilitate a data set of useful information that can flow onto future projects. It is evident that the process can be useful for government departments who have a hand in building and renovating many large-scale projects where cost efficiency and occupant satisfaction are important. The drive for sustainable and usable buildings has led to the use of POEs by some New Zealand government departments on recent projects. The Ministry of Education is a strong supporter of this process and actively commissions and funds such assessments in their new builds and redevelopments. However, this process is not yet standardised, but serves as a standpoint for other government entities to establish such a framework. From the standpoint of practitioners, it is important to consider the effects of post-occupancy evaluations on architectural practices. The use of POEs will likely result in changes to the current standard design process. First of all, it might heighten the importance of achieving sustainability goals in the initial design phase. Furthermore, stakeholders will need to cooperate and work closer together to satisfy their needs at all project stages. With respect to the implementation of new organisational measures, it is important to start slow and identify possible financial risks and effects on productivity. There will also need to be development in the design of post-occupancy evaluations, ensuring they pose the correct questions, providing relevant information for the client, stakeholders, and architects. Ideally, they should collect qualitative data through consideration of objective measures such as lighting, thermal comfort, and acoustics, as well as quantitative data through subjective measures such as users' perception. As we enter the industry, post-occupancy evaluations will likely be further implemented as a tool in the architectural design process. It is important we understand the process and are open to its integration within the practice. POEs will become fundamental to the architectural practice as they allow architects to further innovate and improve the services and products we can deliver. They can help facilitate our relationship with clients and the public, providing evidence that higher quality, more expensive design initiatives can be beneficial in the long run. As one of the main stakeholders in this process, architects have an important role to play in advancing POEs to make them become standard practice. For the upcoming architect, it is also important to understand how post-occupancy evaluations may change the relationship with stakeholders and the perception of our profession to the public. The use of POEs can help illustrate the value an architect can add to a project and showcase the importance of good design in creating a well-functioning built environment. The practice of POEs puts great responsibility on the future architect. Solutions must be justified from both a usability and cost perspective, and the inherent traceability of post-occupancy evaluations may add liability and reputation concerns. In conclusion, by establishing post-occupancy evaluations as a requirement for government-funded projects, a flow-on effect can be created throughout the construction industry. This will further show how learning from past projects is central to improving building performance and can result in a built environment that better suits the needs of clients, end users, the wider society, and the environment. Thank you for watching this presentation. For further information on the topics discussed during this presentation, please see the articles, websites, and journals listed below.